did it, Aaron. We've made it. This is the finals of the Why We Love Horror Trivia Singles Tournament, trying to find out who the number one contender to that vicious, nasty Canadian Dylan Vanthuyne, just a bloodthirsty vampire Dylan Vanthuyne, trying to figure out who the person who's going to be the number one contender is. Two great competitors, the number one seed, Shannon Briggs, the cemetery man himself, versus the dark horse, nickname coming soon, the replacement number 15 seed, Rose Lyndsey, tore through competition to get to the end. We'll bring in Rose first. She can maybe make up a nickname for herself, whatever she wants.
I got her if she doesn't have one.
Rose, how are you?
I love to hear it, but I can go with Jinx because that's been my nickname since I was like 14, and it's a good horror nickname.
The Jinx, that's fantastic, because that means maybe Caleb Coe will stop calling me that, so he can call you that. That sounds good. So how are you feeling going into this match today, Rose?
I am not sure. I'm really unsure. We'll see how it goes. If I know stuff, I know stuff, and if I don't, I don't. I'll do the best I could.
That pretty much sums up Rose right there.
That's a great message. If she knows it, she knows it. If she doesn't know it, she doesn't know it. Believe in yourself. But your opponent, the number one ranked competitor going into this tournament, maybe heavily favored. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I don't know. She's a Jinx, she said. So we'll bring in the cemetery man himself, Shannon Briggs. Shannon, how are you feeling today?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good. I've been definitely been trying to do my homework this last few weeks and stuff, and it's definitely going to be a eclectic, different topics for this match. And Rose, I've watched like all the matches, the tournament match and stuff, and she, like I said, I definitely, like I said, it would not surprise me as to like who, I was to say, even though I was the number one seed throughout it, and I've made it to this far. I think again, definitely Rose earned her place here with the finals against me. So I'm just looking forward to it.
All right. Well, seeing as this is the number one contenders match, and we treat those matches as if they are championship matches. So let's bring up our fresh new overlays. Round one in these championship type matches is still a speed round, though. Prior to the match, both players drafted 4 general categories, and 8 one-point questions have been written in the order the categories were drafted. Players should number their boards 1 through 8 right now. Questions will be read at intervals of 10 seconds apiece. The round ends 10 seconds after the 8th question has been read. For the duration of this championship level match, both players have 4 repeats and 1 challenge to use their discretion. In round 1, a repeat can be used as time is expiring to get any amount of questions reread, and an additional 20 seconds of time to write your questions after that. If you answer all 8 questions correctly, the player or players who do that can be asked a 9th bonus question. Are you guys ready for the speed round?
Yeah.
All right. Your first question comes in the category of Nora Jane Noon, and it is, what college subject does David teach in Legend of the Bog?
That old chestnut. Enough Legend of the Bog questions. Just kidding. Question number 2, horror debuts and goodbyes. Drew Barrymore's feature-length film debut was in what 1980s science fiction horror movie as the protagonist's daughter?
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore.
This is a great category. I mean, we've used it in the 20-question matches, but Shannon picked it today, so I was happy to write more questions. But going on to category number 3, Pollyanna McIntosh. Name either horror director who plays a guest at the costume party in the Grim Grinning Ghost segment in Tales of Halloween.
Triple G.
Yeah, the Grim Grinning Ghosts.
Good double feature with RRR.
Maybe.
I made that up. All right. Question number 4. In the category of Peter Lorre, or Laurie. How does Waldo Trumbull accidentally kill himself at the end of The Comedy of Terrors?
It's definitely an accident.
I gotta say, yeah, go ahead.
Going to question number 5. Brittany Murphy. Who directed Cherry Falls? Brittany Murphy gone too soon.
Cherry Falls, I blame the cover for people not watching that movie. It looks like a terrible movie from that cover, but very, very good.
That's true.
And question number 6, category Stuart Gordon. What is the name of the replacement doll Gabriel gives Judy after her teddy bear is lost in Dolls? I watched half of this movie on Tubi and never got back to it.
It's a movie that I always walked past in the video store. I will admit that.
Yeah, no, I'll get back to it at some point. It's on like my Tubi.
Moving on to Hannah Fireman. What weapon does Stephanie's secret lover use to murder Sam in Second Honeymoon in VHS?
And it like just started storming here really bad. So if I drop out, I apologize. It just but just a little heads up there in case.
You're gonna be okay. I think you're gonna be fine.
All right, on to the final question. Question number 8, Lucio Fulci. What year saw the release of what is considered to be Lucio Fulci's first giallo film, one on top of the other? Haven't seen this one yet, but I definitely like this director a lot more than you do.
And chance to use a repeat will expire in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to the boards, starting with Shannon. What do you got?
Okay. Number 1, I went with Philosophy. Number 2, Firestarter. Number 3, Stuart Gordon. Number 4, Drake and Poison. Number 5, I had no answer for. Number 6, I went with Rupert. Number 7, I went with Pocket Knife. And number 8, I went with 1974.
And Rose.
Number 1, I put History. Number 2, Firestarter. Number 3, Stuart Gordon. I didn't get 4. Number 5, Jeffrey Wright. Number 6, Punch. 7, Gun. And 8, 1970.
At the end of round number 1, we are tied 3-3. I will go over the answers. David teaches archaeology. I would have accepted archaeology or anthropology as the answer in Legend of the Bog. Drew Barrymore's film debut. I just realized this myself today. She plays the daughter in Altered States.
Mm-hmm.
That was her debut.
Great question.
Stuart Gordon or Mick Garris would have been acceptable answers for people at the costume party. Vincent Price does die by drinking poison. That is correct. Jeffrey Wright directed Cherry Falls. Punch or Mr. Punch is the name of the doll in Dolls. Stephanie's lover kills Sam with a knife. Pocket knife is fine. And one on top of the other debuted in 1969. And
Nice.
Those were the answers for round number 1. So with that being said, we're going to move on to round number 2. And round number 2, as always, is still the wheel round. All 8 of those categories in round 1 are on a wheel now. Player in the lead has the option to spin first or defer their turn to their opponent. Both players get 1 turn spinning the wheel. Since we are tied, we will defer to Shannon as the higher ranked competitor. He will decide the order in this round. When a player spins, they may either take the category they land on or utilize their 1 respin. If a respin is used, the category landed on is automatically chosen. The player then receives 5 2-point questions in that category. They can opt to hear multiple choice for any of the questions, and the question then becomes worth 1 point. Be careful, though, because if you give an incorrect answer, your opponent can steal. Let's bring the wheel in, and we'll talk about what categories we got on the wheel today. Categories that we just talked about them. Nora Jane Noon acted, horror debuts and goodbyes. Pollyanna McIntosh acted, Peter Lorre acted, Brittany Murphy acted, Stuart Gordon directed, the Fireman acted, and Lucio Fulci directed. That being said, Shannon, do you want to spin first or defer?
I will defer.
All right, Rose, here's your first spin. And you got Brittany Murphy. Do you want to keep that or spin again?
I'll keep it.
Yep. So we'll do Brittany Murphy and we'll drop the wheel back. Rose, you ready for your Brittany Murphy questions?
Yes.
Aaron, do you want to read these questions or should I?
Yeah, I'll read them. That's fine.
All right. Here's your
All
first
right,
question.
Rose. Here we go. Question number 1. In what U.S. state is the titular town in Cherry Falls?
Virginia.
That is correct for 2 points. All right, moving on to question number 2. Who plays the Archangel Michael in The Prophecy 2?
Multiple choice.
All right, your options are A, Christopher Walken, B, Eric Roberts, C, Glenn Danzig, D, Russell Wong. Answer
5,
4, 3.
A, Christopher Walken.
A is incorrect. Over to Shannon for the 1 point steal. A, Christopher Walken. B, Eric Roberts. C, Glenn Danzig. D, Russell Wong.
No, he's in it. In one of them. I'll go with D, Russell Wong.
That is also incorrect. It is Eric Roberts.
Of course, he's in everything.
Walking
Yeah,
from Gabriel.
Christopher Walken is Gabriel. That's correct.
All right. Question number 3. And Brittany Murphy, what room number is June checked into in Across the Hall?
I feel like I know this, but I'm going to second guess myself, some multiple choice.
All right. Your options are 4 numbers: 505A, B 506, C 507, and D 508.
C 507.
That is correct for 1 point. Moving on to the penultimate question here. Who directed Deadline?
Sean McConville.
That is correct for 2 points. Moving on to the 5th and final question. What profession does Susan Webb have in Something Wicked?
Psychiatrist.
That is correct for 2 points in the near clean sweep of the category. Moving your score up to 10 points.
And Shannon still has 3, and we'll bring the wheel back in for his spin right now. Your first spin. And you get a free respin.
We do not have 10 Brittany Murphy questions written.
You get Lucio Fulci. Do you want to keep that or spin again?
I will keep that.
Okay, and we are done with this wheel. All right, Lucio Fulci it is. Shannon, you ready for these Lucio Fulci questions?
Yes.
All right, your first question. In what country does the opening scene of Manhattan Baby take place?
Egypt.
That is correct. Your second question. How many years separate the releases of Zombie 2 and Zombie 3?
Multiple choice.
Is it A, 8, B, 9, C, 10, or D, 11?
A8.
That is incorrect. Chance for a 1 point steal. Rose, is it A8, B9, C10, or D11?
B9.
9 is correct. From 79 to 88 are the release years of those. Your third question. What do Andrea and Patrizia do for a living in Don't Torture a Duckling?
Multiple choice.
A, journalists, B, actors, C, police officers, or D, teachers?
D, teachers.
That is incorrect. Chance for a 1 point steal, Rose. Are they A, journalists, B, actors, C, police officers, or D, teachers?
A, journalist.
They are journalists. That is correct. Your penultimate question in Lucio Fulci. Who composed the score to A Lizard in a Woman's Skin?
Fabio Frizzi.
That is incorrect. Chance for a 2 point steal, Rose. Who composed the score to A Lizard in a Woman's Skin?
I don't know.
Okay, no guess.
No guess.
Ennio Morricone did the score to A Lizard in a Woman's Skin. And your final question. In what film does Lucio Fulci play himself?
A Cat in the Brain.
That is correct for 2 points. At the end of round 2, I have Rose in the lead 12-7, but we have a long way to go. These are when we're getting into those rounds we don't do all the time. So let me just drop down this banner first and tell you what round 3 is all about. Round 3 is the deep cut round. Prior to the match, both teams were informed of one movie they needed to watch before the match for the purpose of being asked deep cut questions from it. Players will be asked 3 questions of increasing difficulty for the movie for 2, 3, and 5 points. Whiteboards will be used, and all questions have a 15-second time limit. The movie we talked about this week, one of Aaron's favorite actresses is in it, but it's Rosemary's Baby. Aaron, because you love her so much, because you love Ruth so much, I'm going to have you ask these questions. How's that
My
sound?
girl, Maud.
Yeah.
All right. A little different role here for her. All right. Ready for the first of 3 questions. For 2 points, what herb is Rosemary told is inside Terry's locket when Minnie gives it to her? Are you excited for the prequel?
I didn't know they were making one.
Yeah, it's about the apartment. Why the
Apartment
apartment?
7A. It's coming out on Paramount Plus, I believe.
Oh, I did hear that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic.
4,
Thank you for counting down. I got distracted.
2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Shannon first.
Tom Root.
And Rose.
Tannis Root.
Tannis Root is correct. And here's the next question for Aaron to read.
All right, for 3 points. When Rosemary returns Minnie's mugs to her, what is the first grocery item she asks Rosemary to pick up for her? Yeah, I hope it's good. Not sure if it will be. I feel like if it was, they'd put in theaters.
Paramount Plus, hit or miss.
5, 4. I love all the seasons of Survivor on there. 3, 2. Not really their work. 1. Rose.
Go ahead, Rose.
Oh, milk.
All right, and Shannon.
Milk.
It's eggs.
Yeah, she has
That was
half a dozen eggs, and I think
Half a
milk is
dozen.
second.
Yeah, 6 eggs to be
Yes.
to be exact. All right. And the third and final question for 5 big points. What's the last vacation destination Roman mentions he may remain at before he gets in the taxi with his wife to go to the airport? I mean, I gotta say, these are deep cut questions.
Yep.
For sure. I knew none of these, and I love this movie. So
You didn't even know
Not
the
really-
first one?
No, I knew that. No, I didn't know the first one. 4, 3, 2, 1. The last 2, though, no clue. Shannon
Marion Bad.
and Rose.
I remember them talking about Alaska.
It's Majorca,
Mallorca is the
or
place.
Mallorca is how you say it.
That's how the Castellanos say it.
Majorca.
All right. At the end of round number 3, Rose extending the lead a little bit, 14-7, and we're going to move on to round number 4, an invention of Aaron Brooks. It's the Wheel of Games round. There's another wheel I made up, and on that wheel, there's 6 different games that can potentially be played in round 4. There's also 1 slice for each of the players on the wheel, where they can select the game that's played if it lands on their name. The games we could play, and I'll give you the rules should we spin it. There's the hot potato round, the list round, the movie clips round, the movie posters round, the movie matchup round, where we can go back and do round 2 again, but there's no steals or multiple choices for the contestants. If on the first spin, both players choose to not play the chosen game, we can respin it 1 time. So let's bring that wheel in.
Really good idea by me.
Game we're going to play. It's the hot potato round, which is where there'll be 1 question with a bunch of answers, and you'll go back and forth giving correct answers until one person gives an incorrect answer. Would you both agree to play that game, or do you both agree to spin again?
I'm fine with it. I mean, as far as
I'm okay with it.
Okay, then let's talk about how the hot potato game works in total. Hot potato round goes something like this. The player in the lead, that being Rose, will choose whether they'd like to go first or second in this round. I'm going to read 1 question. That question has multiple answers. Every time a player gets one of the correct answers, they earn a point. If an incorrect answer is given, or if they repeat a correct answer, that player is out. When 1 player is left, they can earn up to 3 uncontested bonus points by continuing to give correct answers. However, if they give an incorrect answer at that point or repeat an answer, bonus scoring will end. All right, Rose, would you like to give answers first or second? And we'll go back and forth.
First.
Rose is going to go first. So here is the question. There are 40 possible answers to this question. Name a horror movie where Robert Englund has an acting role, but the movie is not part of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Any role where he's uncredited doesn't count against you. You just have to give me another movie. But Rose, we'll start with you whenever you're ready.
Urban Legend.
He is in Urban Legend. Shannon.
976 Evil.
That is incorrect. He only directed that movie. He is not in it. Rose, you have the ability to give any extra answers now.
No, now that you put me on the spot.
I'll just count you down just so you think. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Well, I will now read 39 movies that Robert Englund is in. He is in. He is in Slash Dreams, Eaten Alive, Dead and Buried, Galaxy of Terror, The Phantom of the Opera remake, Dance Macabre, Toby Hooper's Night Terrors, The Mangler, Killer Tongue, Wishmaster, Strangeland, 2001 Maniacs, Hatchet, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, Heartstopper, Jack Brooks' Monster Slayer, Zombie Strippers, Incubus, Strippers vs. Werewolves, Sanitarium, The Mole Man of Belmont Avenue, The Last Showing, Fear Clinic, The Funhouse Massacre, The Midnight Man, Night World, Choose or Die, Natty Knox, Abruptio, Cantamere, Witch's Blood, Zombie Mutation, Tamora Gamble, Webcam 3D, The Vig, Night of the Sinner, As a Bad Dream, Wish You Were Dead, and The Vampire Wars. He's a busy, busy man. And that's only horror movies.
What a horrible filmography.
and all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Don't forget, he's in the Nightmare on Elm Street.
He should thank the Lord for Nightmare on Elm Street. Because the rest of that filmography, other than Wishmaster, trash. Sorry, I'll say it right now.
Strangeland was the one I was trying to think of because I could picture that horrible character he played, but I could not remember what the movie was.
My backup was going to be the Phantom of the Opera remake, but I thought maybe he had been
that counted as horror.
By the way, Aaron, shame on you. He's in Behind the Mask.
Oh yes, that's very. You're right. That's
I was like, Behind the Mask is another
and he's also in Hatchet. I named a few good.
Okay,
movies.
fine. I'm kidding. Like I'm over exaggerating for the joke. But all 30 of those movies or more, I would hate to watch.
That I will grant you.
Natty Knox.
Moving on to round number 5. The score going to round 5. Rose has 15. Shannon has 7. We are in the synopses round. The Austin Paz Memorial synopses round. Moment of silence for Paz. Prior to the match, both players drafted 3 general movie categories, which are in a pool of 6 at the start of the round. Trailing play will begin choosing a category for a 2-point synopsis, and play continues as needed, with players progressing through synopses worth 2, 3, and 5 points, and choosing new categories for each synopsis. Once a category is selected, it cannot be chosen again. If at any point the trailing player takes the lead, control switches, with their opponent progressing through the remaining categories. Play ends when either I've asked all 6 synopses, or when players are unable to catch up. In the event of a tie, we will go to sudden death. All right. Shannon, you are behind right now, so the categories you can choose from: 1960s and earlier, the 2000s, found footage, horror comedies, literary adaptations, and psychological thrillers. What would you like for a 2-point question?
So I basically have to run the gamut, don't I? To be
You
able
can miss
to...
this one and tie, but I would suggest getting all 3.
Yeah, you can miss the 2-pointer. Yeah, but
It would probably be in your best advantage. So
I will go with the 2000s, please.
and since I read you your second round questions, Aaron will read you your synopses. Here's the 2-pointer for you.
All right, for 2 points. 3 backpackers heading to a Slovak city that promises to meet their hedonistic expectations with no idea of the hell that awaits them.
Hostel.
That is correct for 2 points. Sorry, I didn't respect the comma there. I just went ahead and bowled through that. I apologize for that.
That's fine.
I can't. It's hard to read.
Moving on to your 3-pointer categories remaining. You have 1960s and earlier, found footage, horror comedies, literary adaptations, and psychological thrillers. What would you like for a 3-pointer?
I will go with 1960s and earlier.
Okay.
All right.
You
1960s.
do have to hit this to push it on. So here is the...
For 3 points, Shannon. A centurion artist and scientist in 1890s Paris maintains his youth and health by periodically replacing a gland with that of a living person. Answer repeat in 5, 4.
Repeat, please.
All right.
Or, yeah.
For extension, do you need a rud again?
No, this extension be fine.
Okay. Answer or repeat in 5, 4, 3.
Horrors of the Wax Museum.
And your winner, moving on to the championship match, Rose Lyndsey. So we're going to drop her backstage and talk about it in a minute. The answer to that question was the man who could cheat death. The man who could cheat death is that question. Shannon, it was quite a run, but I think Rose really, I mean, I'm not calling her a jinx pejoratively. Maybe that is just it. Maybe there is something about it. How are you feeling?
I will say that, I mean, it feels humbling to, I mean, I'm not saying you guys can be, being pulled as nice as whatever, but I got my ass beat. So I mean, like Rose, and she, I mean, it was like, yeah, definitely, like she definitely knew her stuff. I mean, I thought maybe I had it in the end with the full sheet one, but I missed a couple of ones that I kind of, out of his filmography, I kind of was a little bit not familiar with a while, and then I think round 4, I really kind of stepped into it by completely not, because I usually love them type of games or whatever. I just I was thinking, I don't know, some reason I was like, when I think Robbie England, I was just thinking that just popped in my head when there was a few other ones that definitely should have popped in my head before that one. But Rose definitely, like I said, she basically, after the second round, she took that lead and never, like I said, it never really became it was formality. It felt like she had already won by the time we got to the 5th round. So yeah, by that time, usually I can it be either close enough or I have usually a comfortable lead. But yeah, I was really, it's not just Dylan. I feel like I was really kind of on my toes by the end of a round or whatever. So, which makes sense. So I would say, Rose, I would say she definitely, I feel like she has a very good shot. Again, surprising us again, and seeing her being the champion. So, but yeah, definitely. I mean, big props to her.
We're going to see you soon enough anyway. Your record is fantastic. Regardless, Shannon, thanks for being here. We'll drop you back and bring in today's winner. Moving on to a championship match. Rose, I'm just going to give you the mic. How do you feel?
I'm very surprised because when I saw Shannon's categories, I figured he probably knows everything there is to know about horror movies ever made because I know nothing about his categories.
Well, you weaved a very specific path through the tournament. Like I said, picking actresses you love. And it seems like even if people study it, you're the one that spins those categories. It seems like no one spins them, you spin them. And then you usually run them. So confidence-wise, how do you feel going into the championship match?
I don't know. I really have no idea.
I guarantee you that Dylan will pick directors and 3 other categories. But aside from that, anything you want Dylan to know before we set up that match?
No, probably the least known the better.
All right. Jeez. A woman of mystery, Rose, we appreciate having you here. We'll see you very soon for that championship match.
Terrifying.
And I think one thing we need to talk about is, even though this championship match is now set up, Rose will play Dylan, we still have a lot of stuff. Pez won the ability to crash the match. He doesn't have any ability to have input into the match, but he could just play in it. And, whatever. And then also we have Jeremy Adams lurking, who may challenge the winner as soon as the match is over.
Right.
Your thought there.
Yeah, no, I mean, one thing's for sure, the less you say, the better you are at horror trivia, apparently, because 3 of the top players here, say 5 words, and they just come in here and just destroy. Rose terrifies me, and I mean that in a very complimentary sort of way. Each match, she's getting more comfortable with the whole, movie trivia playing online aspect of it, which I feel like is a little distracting when you're first playing. And she's just it's really interesting to see her get more comfortable here. And I mean, I do mean this with all due respect, but the Jinx is a perfect nickname for her because everybody, not only does she have a great game, but everybody who faces her that she's facing seems to have their worst game also, which is a pretty good combination to have as a player. It's not your fault if the other player doesn't happen to know their questions or, spins her categories. And I don't see anybody crashing a Rose match also. You're not just going to walk into Hannah Fireman movies, I don't think. You're not just going to that's just, you got to really prepare for that. So she's kind of protected from that too.
We hope you enjoyed this number one contenders match. It is the only match we're having this evening. So if you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. Go to the TikTok at WWL Horror, and we'll see you over there. Remember, the schedules is always the same. Mondays versus Tuesdays, Horror Headlines Live. Wednesdays, we do special editions. Thursdays, we do Why We Love Horror. And Fridays, you're watching it. It's always Why We Love Horror Trivia. We'll see you next week.
Game over.
I'll fucking kill you!